Hi guys, it's Corrine, and today I am going to show you how I make embellishments for a scrapbook page. I've been requested by several ladies if I could show how I use my Silhouette Cameo to make embellishments either for a Smashbook page or a scrapbook page. So I have a video that you will see right before this video that shows me doing a start to finish um, 12 by 12 layout. And the only thing you don't see on that video is me preparing my embellishments. And that's why I am doing this video, so I can show you what I did ahead of time to prepare to put that 12 by 12 layout together. Now, I don't always prepare like this layout ahead of time. I did this in order to show you how I do it. A lot of times what I do is I always start with a photo that I'm going to use. I usually print out my own photo. So I start out with that, and then I usually have paper in mind. Otherwise, what I usually do is when I'm cutting out embellishments, I cut two or three at a time. So I'll just kind of dig through those and see what I have and see what I want to use on a page. And if I come up with an idea that I don't already have cut out, my Cameo sits directly behind me, so I'll just quickly cut something out and use it on my page. But like I said, in order to show you guys how I do it, I went ahead and prepared everything ahead of time. So now the first thing that I usually do is decide what size I'm using. So whether I'm doing a Smashbook page that is 10 by 6.5 or a smaller layout. But in this case, I'm doing a 12 by 12 layout. So the first thing I'm going to do is set my mat to 12 by 12. And then again, the first thing I do is I know I'm using a 12 by 12 piece of paper. So I draw out a box. Over here on the left, I grab my draw a rectangle box and I just quickly draw out a box. I go back up here and grab my select tool and highlight my box. I want to go up to the scale window so I can change it. So I know I'm doing a 12 by 12, so I'm going to change the width and the height to 12 by 12. Okay, so now my box is a 12 by 12. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I know that I want to use an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper on here. So I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to draw another box. But instead of drawing another box, I'm just going to grab this box, hold down my control key and drag it over. And that way it gives me a duplicate box over here. And then I will just, again, open my scale window at the top and scale that to 8.5 by 11. Okay, so as you can see, I have a 12 by 12 and an 8.5 by 11. The next thing I will do is the exact same thing, grab another box. You can either draw out another box or again, just select a box, hold your control key and drag it to the side and that'll give you another box. It'll copy it. So this one is going to be for my photo. So again, I'm going up to the scale window and I will change this one to a 4.5 by 6.5 is the size that I did. Okay, and now I want to add my photo to this. That way I can see exactly the layout of my page. So I have another video where I go into more detail on how to do this, but just to quickly add my photo, I'm going to go up here to the top left under File, select Merge, select Libraries, Pictures, and I know that this is the file that the photo is under, so I'm going to double click on that. Now it shows right here no items match your search, and that's because here where it says files of type, you need to click on the drop down and select all files. Okay, and this is the photo here that I want, so I'm simply going to hold this and drag it to that box and hold it there until the picture pops up. Okay, once the picture has popped up, I'm going to select the cancel feature to close out the box. And now I also know that I want to leave, when I print out this photo, I want some white around it. So the simple way for me to do this is I'm going to go up to my offset window up here, select that. I'm going to select offset, and I don't want it rounded, I want corners. So I change that to corner, and that's perfect distance for me. So I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave it highlighted and go up to my fill window and select white. Now I want to drag a box around both of those and select my group button down here on the bottom left. Okay, so that's the photo that I want to use. Now what I'm going to do is go back to my papers. The first thing that I'm going to decide on is what I want in my 8.5 by 11. What paper I want to use for my 8.5 by 11. Now I knew that I wanted to use a digital printout, so I'm going to highlight this box or select this box, and then I'm going to go up here to my fill pattern window, and I'm going to go grab the paper that I want to use. I am using the pink paisley portfolio collection. So I'm going down here, I'm scrolling down to portfolio. And pretty much when I started this process, that is the only thing that I knew, is that I wanted to use that photo and that I wanted to use the portfolio photo from Pink Paisley. Besides that, I had no clue what I wanted to do. So this is how I started. And again, I also knew that I was going to use an 8.5 by 11 because my printer only prints on 8.5 by 11. So I wanted to add an 8.5 by 11 to a 12 by 12 page. So the first thing I do is I just start. Let me move this over to the white. You can see it a little better. I just start going through and deciding what photo or what paper I want to use by doing this. So I chose this paper, and then I went and printed this out and held it up to my 12 by 12 paper to decide what color it looked best on. So what I chose was a gray. So I'm going to, even though I'm not going to be printing this out, just simply to help me visualize this come together, I'm going to fill this with gray by going up here to my fill color window, and I chose the darker gray because that most likely matches my paper that I'm going to be using. So now I drag this and just try to visualize what I want out of my layout. So the next thing is I knew I wanted some sort of background. So I'm going to go over here to my library, and I'm going to select backgrounds. So I looked through these and I decided on this one right here. It's background lace circle is what it's called. And I got this from the Silhouette store. So I double click on that and bring that to my screen here. And let me get a hold of it, move it over here. I knew that I was going to print that out on pattern paper. So what I did here is select it. I went up to my fill pattern window. Again, I wanted to use the portfolio from Pink Paisley. That way I knew the papers would match well. So let me go down here and grab that. And yeah, I believe this first one is the one I'm going to use. Now, let me click on my scissors up here so you can see it will cut out those middle circles. But just for time's sake, I'm going to leave it how it is and put it on my layout. And I want it to go behind my photo. So I'm going to grab my photo here, highlight it, right click, and select Bring to Front. So that's about how I want it. I want it right behind my photo. Next thing I decided is obviously I need something over here on the side. So I looked around my library and I decided on a file folder. So I'm going to go to File Folders, and I selected this one here. So double click on that, and let me get a hold of it and move it out of the way. And again, I want to fill it with some pattern paper. So I'm going up to my fill pattern window, and after just kind of looking around at what I had, I wanted something a little more bold, so not matching the collection. So I went with, let's see here. I went with a black and white stripe that, again, I got from the Silhouette store. And what I do here is I'm going to go up to my rotate window up at the top right, and I want to rotate it 90 degrees. Actually, let me turn it the other way. I want it facing the other way. Okay, and now what I do here is I want to go ahead and move it and put it behind this paper here. So I'm going to right click and put send to the back. Now it sent it behind this gray piece of paper. So again, I want to right click and select bring forward. If I say bring to the front, it's going to bring it to the very front. So I don't want to do that. I just want to select bring forward. Now that brings it one layer forward. And I want to just tuck that right behind my pattern paper right here. Okay, now the other thing is I knew I needed something over here, so I simply just drew out a couple rectangles real quickly and go back here and grab my select tool, and I wanted to fill them with papers again that match the Pink Paisley collection. So I'm going to go up to my fill pattern, go down to the Portobello collection. I keep saying Portobello, excuse me, it's Portfolio collection. Okay, and I'm going to grab just a couple pieces of paper here. Let's see. I'm trying to remember which ones I used. I believe it was this one. So I used one of them and then I used the yellow one on the other. So now I made those a little bit shorter because I haven't actually done the layout yet. So I'll probably make banners out of those. So again, I'm just doing this to visualize how I want my layout to look. Okay, so it'll be something like that. And now I want some sort of cluster up here. So I decided on stars. So I'm going to go back here to my library, go down to where I have my stars. I'm going to grab the Echo Park stars. Now these, as you can see, let me grab the stars here. Okay. Right away, I'm going to double them because I know I want more than 2 stars. So I'm going to highlight them, hold my control key, and drag it down. Now on both of these, they have a double cut line. I only wanted them to cut the outside edge. So with this one highlighted, I'm holding my shift key and I'm selecting this one as well. So it selects all 4 of those. And I'm going up here to the top, grabbing my cut style window and selecting cut edge. Okay, now I'm going to go back to my window here to get back to my screen. I want to again fill this, go to my fill window with the same Portfolio collection by Pink Paisley. Again, I'm doing this so they all match, the collection all matches. And I believe I did the second one in this blue paper here. Okay, so now I'm just going to size these to about the size that I want. And I don't believe that I use both of these, so I'm going to unselect them or ungroup them and use just one of the sizes from here. Now, another thing is I knew that with this dark gray paper, I'm going to use my Signote white gel pen and draw a line on the outside. So I can even do that on my silhouette to visualize it. So I'm going to go here to draw a line. I'm going to hold my shift key as I pull my mouse down. That way it gives me a perfectly straight line. If you don't hold your shift key, again, I'm going to drag it, you can see that it moves all around. So I want to hold my shift key and get a perfectly straight line. Okay, so there's 2 there, and I'm going to do 2 over here as well. Oops, I let go of my shift key before I let go of my mouse. Okay, so now I need to go back up here to grab my select key to work with these. I'm going to delete these extra ones just to get them out of the way. I'm going to move these over here next to the other ones. I know they're a little hard to see right now, but I'm going to fix that. This one here I don't need, so I'm going to right click and delete that. So now I'm going to highlight all 4 of these so I don't have to do them individually. And I'm going to up here to my open the line color window. I'm selecting that and I'm going to select white because these are going to be what my white pen lines look like. Now they're going to be so thin that I want to open my line style window and thicken them up just a little over here with line thickness just so they're a little bit easier to see. Okay, so now I want to simply move them onto my page. Again, I will not be printing these out or anything like that. I just do this for to visualize it, excuse me. So now I want to highlight that one, hit the shift key, highlight the second one, and open the rotate window. Rotate those 90 degrees because they're going here at the top and the bottom. And I want to drag that to the top and to the bottom. So now it's not perfect, but I can at least see if I'm happy with that and if I want to leave it like that. So now I decided that I want something here, some sort of either journaling or a phrase. So I go down here to my library, and at the very bottom I choose words and sayings. And I scrolled through here, and what I found, because this is a picture of my son, I think let's see, I believe it's at the bottom here. It says, "I completely adore you." Here we go. Again, I got this at the Silhouette store. So now I'm going to drag this over here, and the first thing I'm going to do is ungroup it. And I don't want to use this completely, so I'm going to move it out of the way, right click and delete it. This completely, I want right next or right below, excuse me, right above the adore you. So I'm going to move that down, and I want that in black. So up here at my fill color window, I'm going to fill that black. The U I would like black, so I'm going to highlight the U, but it's attached to the adore, so I need to unselect that as well. Okay, now I'm going to grab the U and over here change that to black. I'm going to select the I, change that to black, move it in front of the completely. And the adore, I want to match the paper line. So I'm going to go down to the portfolio collection as well and grab a pattern paper from that. Okay, so now I'm going to group all of those together by drawing a box around them and selecting my group tool. I'm going to scale it down and bring it up here and print that out on my design paper. The other thing is I knew that I wanted a pattern paper behind here. So again, I drew out another box. I decided this at this point in the process. So I didn't know that, otherwise I would have done that from the very beginning. So I need to grab my select tool, highlight the box, my fill pattern window is open, go back down to the portfolio collection and grab that. And now I want that to go on top of my pattern paper. So let me move this over. Let me send this to the back. And then I need to bring it forward. And I need to bring it forward one more time. And now that should go on top of my pattern paper. So I put that behind there. And lastly, I'm going to use some of the Heidi Swap hearts. They are 3D hearts, but in order to see if I like the way that looked on here, I'm going to use some hearts just to give me a visual. But hers are the chipboard hearts. So let me open up my hearts. I use this Echo Park heart here that I got in the store, and one of the hearts that I use is a double heart. So I'm going to go up here to my offset window. I'm going to do an internal offset, and the offset distance is way too small, so I'm going to make that a whole lot bigger. And that's about what the heart looks like. So now I'm going to drag a box around those and group them together. They are white, so I want to fill this with white, but I need to make this a compound path so it matches the chipboard heart that I'm going to use. Because right now, if I go up to my fill window and select white, it makes the entire thing white. So let me just hit the back button. Now let me right click on this, select make a compound path. Now when I fill it with white, it will only fill the outside. So let me make that a little bit smaller. And I'm going to put a heart right there. I also want to grab another heart, which I should have just duplicated it. Actually, I want to grab two more hearts, so I'm going to select my control key and drag one over, filling them both with white. So I'll do that at one time. And now I want to make this quite a bit smaller, and I will have that on top of this one here. Again, this is what I had in mind, so I'm doing this on the silhouette in order to see if I'm happy with it before I actually lay it out together. Okay, so another thing I wanted to add, like a flare button here, similar to a flare button or an epoxy sticker. And I have some of those page pebbles by Making Memories. And again, if you watch the video of me putting this together, you'll see it all come together. But the page pebbles are clear epoxy circles, and they are 1 inch. So I want to make my own design and put, let me get rid of these here. I want to go ahead and put my own design in them. So what I did here is I grabbed my ellipse tool, which is my circle, and to make a perfectly round circle, you want to hold your shift key and drag it out. I let go of my shift key or my mouse before my shift key. So as you can see, it's more of an oval there. So now here is my perfect circle. I want to go up here and grab my select tool. Let me just go ahead and delete this. And now with this selected, I want to change the size. So I'm going to go up here to my scale window. I'm going to select lock aspect ratio because I want to make it a 1 inch circle. So I'm going to select apply. Now that's 1 inch, and I want to fill it with the same matching pattern paper as this. So let me go down to my patterns and grab that, fill it with that. There's an epoxy sticker on top of that. So I'll probably put that here somewhere. So that is how I prepare for it. Now what I would do is separate everything out, cut it out, and then as you'll see in the next video, you'll see me put it all together. So I hope this gives some of you ideas out there on how you can use your Cameo for your embellishments. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.